Wade, Javier, Stephanie and Leon were still bewildered, and it showed in each of their expressions. It all happened so fast. They were dead, and not only that. They returned to walk again among the living and drink their blood. They had now joined the ranks of the Nosferatu. The four criminals had been brought to a large and sinister underground chamber. They had been fed blood, just a little, enough to keep them sane, but the thirst was burning inside each one like an inferno. They had partaken in some strange bloody rites, and after that, they were led inside a large pool full of blood. That was the centerpiece of the room. Each of the four was almost submerged into it. Their instructions were clear: to wait and not drink from the pool. While they waited, they noticed others arriving at the room. The numbers around the blood pool increased steadily. As the four inside, the ones around it were not mortal people, but also vampires. Some were standing while others were sitting at the chairs all around the place. An eerie silence filled the room. Leon could see Javier seemed to be thrilled from all this. He was enraptured and had his eyes closed at the same time he kept his head high. Leon turned his attention to Stephanie and noticed that she kept studying the people around the pool carefully. Perhaps it would be wise to do the same, but before he could do that, his eyes and Wade's met, and even without words, the two could express to one another the discomfort they felt. They finally heard a vampire announcing the arrival of the Archons. One by one, they took their places, with a large mirror standing behind them. Ivan from House Dracul, Antoinette de Lucis from House Basilisk, Oppenheimer from House Morrigan, Akasha from House Morrigan, Hector from House Leviathan, Elsa York from House Dracul. The vampire was pleased when he announced they had a full house with the 6 Archons present, something that was quite unusual. The Archons proceeded to discuss matters and plans that were beyond Leon's understanding, matters pertaining to the build-up and execution of operations during a coming war. Finally, one of them called the attention to the 4 Nosferatu inside the pool of blood. Leon could feel all eyes turning to him and his companions. One of the Archons, a huge man called Ivan, entered the pool and approached the 4 vampires within. He towered over them, but Leon and the others did not feel afraid.
Children of Babylon, many have prophesied our downfall, yet here we are. We have defeated all prophecies. We have defeated nature itself following the example of Tiamat. We have endured the wrath of thousands of years. Meanwhile, the King's Court is already falling apart because of their moral deficiency, corruption, and hypocrisy. They court a weakness inside each of us. What we were before receiving the gift of Babylon. Many do not know the meaning of the name Babylon. It means Gate of the Gods. To mortals it is thanks to the city having 7 gates, each holding the name of a god. Shamash, Ishtar, Marduk, Adad, Enlil, Zababa, and Uresh. But we, its true children, know something the mortals do not. We understand that its gift is the gate to become as gods, like the founders before us. Nosferatu existence is the balancing of 2 halves, what we were and the Nephilim. And find balance we must. Too much human and we find frailty. Do not ever forget the fate of the weak is to be reduced to tools and victims of others of our kind. Nature is a harsh mistress, and Nosferatu are even harsher. Too much Nephilim and we find savagery and the loss of all our potential, the death of our very soul consumed from within. The Nosferatu transcends both mortal and Nephilim. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Our potential is divine, merging the rationality and ambition of mankind with the power of the Nephilim. Embrace what we are, seize eternity. Children of the Founders, the King's Court and Nosferatu have the illusion that they can still pretend to be what they once were, as if they could fool the Nephilim inside like they fool one another with their ridiculous theaters. They desecrate the gift of our founders, and they are going to pay the price they have accrued. Their blood calls to us as do their hearts, and dry them of their stolen blood we shall, and take their hearts as fuel for our own we shall. Let our enemies feel the wrath of the founders. Retribution is coming for them. They are bereft of wisdom and full of pride, ignorant of their history and their nature. They are like blinded beasts. Always remember your true nature and value as one of the privileged to receive the gift. The tower does not give it lightly. Only the most talented among mortals, the most full of potential, are chosen. The court will tell you falsehoods about being monsters lower than dirt. Look how they treat one another. Listen to their lies and see their tongue dripping with poison and the blood of their brethren. We are here today to welcome 4 newborns among us. By the grace of our High Priestess, as one of her anointed archons, I receive you among us. You thirst, quench it.
The giant Nosferatu immersed each one of them in the pool. After that, he took a large chalice and filled it with blood, so each of the 4 could drink from it. Leon felt revulsion at the idea, but the blood tasted better than anything he had ever imagined. The thirst retreated inside him, at least for now. After the 4 bloodlings had drank, Ivan left the pool and invited them to do the same. Leon noticed that the blood covering him and the others refused to leave the pool by some fell sorcery. When they got out, it stood behind and rejoined the blood inside. All of them, even the preacher, were as clean as if they had never entered the pool of blood. They could hear the Nosferatu around the room speaking with each other, and the mood seemed to relax a lot.
So cool. We are motherfucking vampires now.
Javier looked at himself amazed.
We still do not know exactly what it entails.
They promised us revenge against that bastard Vittorio. That's the only thing that matters.
The boss does not appear to be a small-time criminal now. Did you see him standing with the other bigwigs?
One day, it will be us up there.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Leon was saying, but he never finished. A chilling sensation took over the entire chamber. An instinctive, unsettling feeling seized the 4 new Nosferatu, and the room was once again silent. Like a cornered beast looking for an exit, they searched for the cause of this sensation, and noticed that it flowed from the huge mirror overseeing the room. When they gazed upon it, something gazed back. This disquieted their cold, dead bodies to the core. The 4 newborns felt their very souls were being probed. Then, as suddenly as it started, the discomfort disappeared and they felt normal again. The mirror once more appeared to be just a mirror. Before any of the 4 newborns could say something, they were greeted by a well-groomed man.
Good night, lady and gentlemen. I'm called Jean-Denis. Pleased to meet you all. If you allow me, I would like to show you around and introduce you to the brothers and sisters who could make it here today. After that, I'm going to deliver you to your sires, and you can be on your merry way.
The 4 followed the man, and he took them to a group of punks who looked like threatening individuals.
Because 2 among you are from House Morrigan, the House of the Raven. Let's start with them. These are some of the descendants from your sire Oppenheimer. His sister Akasha does not have any children, at least that we know of. Quite unpredictable, that one.
The men took them to another group of Morrigans.
This second group is led by Jolene, another sister to Akasha and Oppenheimer. They live in the outskirts of the city in an alternative community. They have the reputation of being a little eccentric.
A woman, their leader, greeted them in the name of the others and invited them to visit their gated residential enclave.
Next, as one of you is from House Leviathan, the House of the Sea Serpent, we shall proceed to them,
said Jean-Denis, while taking the 4 newborns to a group of people who seemed to belong to a martial arts academy and close to another that could be a part of a private fighting force.
They are the children of Hector, and the bulk of the forces of the tower are composed of Nosferatu from this house.
One of them gave a handshake to each of the 4 before they proceeded.
As the last among you is a basilisk, the House of the Snake, let's go to them. Since the house started here in Dreadford, it has been under a family, the Delusis, and their close associates. Their progenitor only delivered the gift of Babylon to his own mortal descendants, but this custom has been abandoned since his departure.
They arrived near a group of elegant and classy vampires. One of them, a stern-looking woman named Jacqueline, waved at the group. She introduced them swiftly to the other Nosferatu of the house, especially Stephanie, who she presented as her child. When the 4 newborns were leaving, a man stood and came after them.
This is Luke. He's not originally from House Basilisk, but he was, one could say, adopted by them.
Luke had an ardent look in his eyes. He greeted them and gave his best wishes before returning to his place. Next, their guide took the 4 to a very friendly old gentleman, who heartily received each of them. After they moved away, Jean said,
"That was Anton Esterhazy, our Sebastocrator. It would be a good idea to have him as a friend. He has the ear of the High Priestess and is a powerful mage. He is from House Dracul, the House of the Dragon. Unfortunately, we have very few Nosferatu from this house with us. Apart from Anton and those very close of blood to him, we have the children of one of our Archons, Elsa. But the majority of the house follows a rebellious daughter of Ivan, Alana, who rejects the leadership of our High Priestess. Next is House Moroi, the House of the Spider. They are spies and their leader, Farah, is our Inquisitor. If any of you do something against our laws, you are going to answer to her."
Jean-Denis pointed to a group of standing Nosferatu. They were silent and on high alert. Their leader noticed them and gave a short nod in their direction, measuring them cautiously. Lastly, Jean pointed to a lonely sitting woman. She was dressed all in black and had a grim aura around her.
There is Beatrix van der Hoven from House Irkala, the House of the Scorpion. It is said that she is always accompanied by ghosts and worse, so it is good for you to keep your distance and business to a minimum. Well, there is another house here in the tower, but Obwe and his Orlocks only rarely come to the meetings. He was here for your introduction, but had to leave to attend matters of the construction of the tunnels.
What was that inside the mirror?
That was the High Priestess.
Jacqueline answered, approaching the group with Hector.
It is still too soon for you to worry about it.
She stood near Stephanie. Hector put his hands over Wade's shoulder.
"Are you ready now?"
He asked the newborns, and one by one the 4 agreed.
I will not disappoint you. We will come out walking on the other side of this. I will make sure of it.
"Keep an eye on the Morrigans. Try to keep them away from each other's throats."
Jacqueline took Stephanie to the side.
Do not hesitate to call the number I gave you if needed.
Yes, Mother. I understand.
Call me Sire.
Jacqueline said with a stern look, before returning with her child to the group.
You are going to war against a coward and treacherous enemy, the King's Court. Your training was not long, but remember that you can fall back and rely on the tower for support and further training as time permits. Discipline is...
You've already had enough people telling them how to do their jobs, Jackie. Now that all that is behind us, we can finally have some fun.
They noticed Oppenheimer approaching.
Are you sure this is going to work?
When am I ever sure of anything? Never.
If you don't bring my child back alive, you and I are going to have a problem.
We have a good plan, and they showed promise before receiving the gift of Babylon. If they can stay close to what was discussed and are good at improvising when something unexpected happens, they have good odds.
You know we're listening, right, dog?
Keep quiet.
Leon answered him, and Javier replied with a menacing scowl. Oppenheimer grabbed them both by the ears and pulled them aside.
From now on, you two are both my children. Brothers, take care of each other, or I'll skin you both. Do you understand?
They nodded in agreement.
You really don't want to see what happens when you skin a Nosferatu. Who was the last among us to do it? Akasha? Ivan? Well, I digress. Let's not waste any more time. The court is not going to set itself ablaze. We are.
Before leaving, Leon gave a last look into the huge mirror. and thought about what could terrify even their cold, dead bodies to the core like that. How had he ended up here? And what will come after? Would they be able to really kill a vampire mob boss? And if they could not, what would their new friends do to them? If he felt such a strong thirst as a new vampire, what was the monster inside these older vampires like? Leon thought about his brother Anthony and wished he could have a different ending than him.